Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update and all the physical releases coming to the Nintendo Switch February the 10th until the 14th. Let's see what we've got this week. Sid Meier's Civilization 7 is releasing this week on Switch alongside PS5 and Xbox in a standard and deluxe edition. I actually think that some slipped out last week because of the two editions, pay extra, play earlier or something like that, or more like pay extra and crash the servers in advance of the peasants coming in later. Yeah, I heard there were teething troubles with this entry, especially on PC, but what massive game doesn't these days? Especially strategy is complicated and addictive as the Civ series. I've generally avoided these. I prefer sticking to the Three Kingdoms because of course I do, but yeah, strategy fans, you will probably want to own this. Probably on PC first, but if you're going on holiday, maybe pick up the Switch version. And my executive producers, Jennifer M, Jake Vav, Thorn Metal Luna, JCross7776, Dave Hurstwaite, Wixit, and my brand new executive, Jeddah Crow, have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want to buy this or any of the retail games in this video, please consider purchasing via the links in the description and pinned comment. That massively helps me out and this series to keep producing physical content for you guys. VGP are a great company with cheap prices in Canadian money and have free worldwide shipping on orders over 80 Canadian bucks, which is less than 60 American dollars. Plus, each week, if you buy something, you get put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Reza G. Congratulations, Reza, you should get an email from VGP with your discount coupon in the coming days. Thank you so much for your support, and anyone else out there. What else have we got this week? The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak 2 is maybe the big one for the Switch, right? Also releasing on PS4 and PS5. It's weird to think that this was once a highly niche JRPG series, and it's ended up being one of the most popular releases of 2025, at least so far. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this one because, Trails Through Daybreak 1 was supposedly awesome, and they can't wait to continue the story. You've got to appreciate Falcom and their ability to pump these out at a reasonable rate and yet still keep up the quality. Also, just a heads up, at the time of making this, VGP still have copies of the first game too, if you want to go back for the start of this new arc within the Legend of Heroes franchise. And my executive producers, Josh Foote, Super Benjulio, Dave Horworth, Robotech, Issa, Kevin W, Ishin, G Bautista 100, Feig, Adamantium, D's Nuts, Instacritic, Ethan Blue, and Sora Cat have chosen this as their pick of the week. Popslinger is releasing in North America this week on Nintendo Switch with the, let me count them, 4 editions. Wow, they have a standard, an elite, an extra edition, and an extra elite edition. What, so no Super Wooper edition? I am disappointed. Anyways, this is supposed to be sent out either this week or next, but I'll talk about it now. Popslinger is a retro-styled beat-em-up mixed with a shooter, at least that's what it's labeled. It's a simple action game with some River City Girls vibes to it. Supposed to be alright, but I'm not sure it's worth the grand 4 editions they're trying to sell with it, but who knows, maybe it's a classic. Read-only memories, Neurodiver. Is it going to release in North America this week? Is it finally going to happen? Of all the games in the history of this series, this feels like the one I've brought up the most times. I'm not sure why the North American physical took longer than anywhere else, but it's finally here with a juicy worm plush that is probably the reason it took so long. Yeah, there is a standard edition and a collector's edition which has the plush, stickers, acrylic charm, art book, and a downloadable soundtrack. Although it is worth remembering that there is a double pack of both games in this series together in Europe, and it's cheaper than the standard edition of this single release, so make your choice. Do you like a juicy worm plush, or do you like value for money? I know it's hard to decide. Alright, let's jump into the low print limited releases. All of them from limited run this week. Rendering Ranger R2 Rewind, that's a lot of R's, is going up for pre-order at limited run on Friday. This was a Super Famicom game from 1995, developed by the same director as the Turrican series. Weird then that it never got a Western release until now. It's a side-scrolling action game that also mixes in some shmup levels, so a nice bit of variety. I've never played it, and I could just easily boot up a ROM to find out if it's good or not, but I'm not gonna, I'm too busy. This is releasing on Switch, PS4, and PS5. Fashion Police Squad is available for order right now at limited run on Nintendo Switch. This is a colorful, fun, comedic take on the first-person shooter genre. It's very highly rated too. Instead of blasting demons' heads off, you blast off their corduroy trousers into something a bit more stylish. And each gun you have will handle different fashion faux pas. Supposedly a really good game. I might actually learn something about fashion from it. And my executive producer, the Nemo6, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Puyo Champions is going up for pre-order at limited run on Friday, same time as Rendering Ranger, and this might be one of the most pointless games they've ever done. This is the esports edition of a super cheap downloadable game, only for the most hardcore of Puyo fans. You might as well just buy the Puyo Tetris game since, one, they're cheaper than this and also have like 10 times the content. I'm not sure anyone even plays this online anymore, but hey, I guess it's nice to see Puyo become more and more available in the West. It deserves it. Alright, let's jump into the imports. Remember, you can get 5% off these via Play Asia with the code Jordan2025. Urban Myth Dissolution Center is a really interesting looking episodic adventure game, a detective thing that's definitely got a horror theme to it. There's some incredible pixel art, and it seems that if you enjoyed Nintendo's recent Emio, this is gonna be your next step. Hopefully, anyways. The physical release is only in Japan, but it will have English. There is a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which comes with a tabletop game, a soundtrack CD, and a booklet of some kind. You can also grab it on PlayStation 5, and my executive producers, Cartoon Soren, Dane Wilkinson, Brent McLean, Vey, Ghost Bune, and Lewis K have chosen this as their pick of the week. The Escape Room Chronicles is also releasing in Japan this week, and it will have English. It's part of the Simple series of games, and is actually a quad pack of games, technically. You get 4 short escape room type games, although I don't think they're horror games. They appear to be quite kiddified, so if you want to test the brains of your iPad zombie, your child, maybe give this one a shot. In Japan, they also have Hyper Devotion Noir Goddess Black Heart, which does not have English, so no need to import it. Alright, that's it. Let's jump into the community spotlight. Apple Sin sent in this photo with the much cultured Senran Kagura Reflections. It's one of the weirdest games on the Switch, and one for fans of anime girls and massaging them. VGP still have copies of the reprint if you want it. Executive producer Brent McLean sent in this photo. I know he's massively into his Switch train games, most of which are only available in Japan, and this particular one does not have English, but I don't think it's massively necessary anyway. You just push up to go forward and all that, press X to go choo-choo. Executive producer Cartoon Soren sent in this photo with a couple of cultured artifacts, especially Taboo Trial with those hangers. Pretty mindless action games, you can have fun if you just switch your brain off. Executive producer Dave Hallworth sent in this photo, getting in Metaverse Keeper, which I think is permanently discounted to a ridiculously cheap price at VGP. It's always like 12 American bucks or something crazy. Alyssa sent in this photo, showing off one of the most highly requested Switch physicals of all time, Pumpkin Jack. It was always number 1 in terms of the number of people asking me if there was any news regarding a physical. Well, here it is. It's limited run, and you can't buy it anymore. Well, I'm sure VGP will have some in the near future. Executive producer Instacritic sent in this photo, Mountain Rescue Simulator. Are you telling me you went all this time without adding this massively obscure game to your collection? I don't believe you. My brand new executive producer, Jeddah Crow, sent in this photo picking up a quad helping of Final Fantasy over 2 cartridges. You know, at this point, as much as Final Fantasy 13 hurt me more than some relationship breakups, I almost wish the trilogy would come to the Switch just so I can have some closure on it. Cresselac sent in this photo picking up a bunch of lovely imports. Angelion Trigger doesn't actually have English, but I hope it will someday because it looks really interesting. Sake Dup sent in this photo getting a double Ender Lilies and Ender Magnolia. I think we should all start taking bets on what the third game will be. Ender Chrysanthemum, Ender Buttercup, Ender Hyacinth Bouquet, who knows? Executive producer Super Ben Julio sent in this photo with 2 limited run releases, Ninja 5-0, great stuff, and Astral Ascent, which is a game I'm less familiar with. Seems like a lot of games have like an astral theming to them, and I I get them confused. The One sent in this photo with Neptunia riders, which if you saw my video on it, you know, well, I mean, the gameplay is fine. It just didn't need to be a full release at a price that they were asking for. As a minigame, great, pretty fun. $40 release, like you're taking the smeg. Transient Image sent in this photo, getting in the Korean exclusive Buried Stars. That's a pain to get a hold of in the West, but I do wonder if you are in Korea and you just pop into a random game store, will you find it easily? I don't know. Alright, let's have a roundup. Butter Boulder, Choco Loco James, Devil Angel, Sandra K, Robin H, Danielle O, The Esoteric Camel, Red Rose Reaper, Rancid Game, Mickey McFlynn, McLaren. Balls, I just realized I missed one of my executive producers. Okay, here we go. Adamantium, my executive producer, sent in this photo with Undernauts and Morbid, the Lords of Iron. That one, I've heard like differing opinions on. Some say it's really great if you like Souls-like 3D kind, while others say it's a bag of trash. I've played it myself and I found it to be alright, so who knows what it is. Alright, if you want to send in your pictures, you know where to send it because it's on the screen right now. Pause the video to see where to send it to. Special thanks, as always, to my executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Alexander Katzo, JCross7776, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Raven Knight, Thorn Metaluna, Issa, Vey, Offphone, Instacritic, Precision Plague, Alex M, Feig, Josh Foot, Ishin, Lewis K, Kevin W, Jennifer M, Super Ben Julio, Double Dave, Husway and Horworth, Wixit, Sora Cat, The Nemo 6, Ghost Bune, G Bautista 100, Rose, Adamantium, Azrath, Jake Vav, Ethan Blue, D's Nuts, and my brand new executive producer, Jeddah Crow. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to join them, check the link below. It's the final tier for the Patreon, the Let's Get Physical producer role. But if you don't want to support me that way, you can purchase via the links that also massively help support me. You can also leave a comment if you watched all the way through. I want to know who you are. Please leave me a worm emoji in honor of Read Only Memories Neurodiver because of the juicy fat worm plush that you get with it, the collector's edition, alright? Alright, go check out some of my other stuff. I've got a lot of stuff for you guys, okay? And I'll have more this week as well. Thank you so much for your support. I just reached 20,000 subscribers. I want to get to 30 before the end of the year. Can we do that? Help me out, guys. Take care.